Hey, DCL podcast fans, it's Steve. Welcome to 2022. We wish you and your families the best. Hope you had an enjoyable holiday season. For our longtime listeners, I want to give you just kind of a heads up that myself and Christy and Chris and Steve in the news are going to be back bringing you content throughout the year in 2022. And we're going to kick off this first episode with a look at a family who cruised with Disney Cruise Line for the first time after trying to do it before COVID and having several cruises canceled. They sailed on the beautiful Disney Wonder out of San Diego, and I think you're really going to enjoy this show. So if you're a longtime listener, we want to welcome you back to the DCL podcast for 2022. If you're a new listener, welcome aboard as well. We are glad that you found us, and we hope you enjoy each and every week as we bring you different Disney Cruise Line, Run Disney, and Adventures by Disney content. So let's kick off that 2022 cruising season, as they say, on with the show. Well, hello, and welcome once again to the DCL podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly. Well, welcome back to the DCL podcast, your podcast helping your family cruise a little smarter. And I'd like to, it is super late. The fireworks have gone off the ship. Christy is still up.
We're actually going to hear the fireworks in Orlando here in about 3 minutes. So
I think this might be the latest podcast that you have recorded with me. So
it's the latest time I will ever agree to record with you for sure. This is my limit. And it's been a really long week. If you recall, less than a week ago, I was in Vegas. Then I went to Michigan. I'm tired, so I make no promises about the words that may or may not come out of my mouth tonight.
Well, that's kind of normal for us, isn't it? Not just you, but me too. We make no promises for the words that come out of our mouths.
That's true. And then if you remember, so our listeners don't really know this, but we recorded yesterday. It was my idea to do the show. And I left for most of it because I had my holds all came through and I was up until like 11 working last night. So this should be fun, family that is joining us today. Wait till you see what you get.
Yeah. But you know what? These are my favorite podcasts to do. Well, one of my favorite podcasts to do. Why, Christy?
Why?
Because we have a family who's cruised the first time on Disney Cruise Line, and I'm super excited to hear about their experiences. So as we jump into it, we would like to welcome to the podcast the Miller family down in California. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
We're good.
Yeah.
So we got everybody here, and we're going to start off with the girls, but we have Chris, Carrie, Lindsay, and Alyssa. So welcome to the DCL podcast.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, let's just jump right into it. You guys went on your first Disney cruise, but before we talk about the cruise itself, give me a little bit about your Disney background. How did you find Disney cruising, and what is your Disney experience? Did you guys go to Disneyland, Disney World? We want to hear about it.
We have gone to Disneyland many, many times. And I actually have a friend who told me that one of her talents in life is convincing anyone to go on a Disney cruise. I didn't think she'd be able to convince me because I'm not as big of a Disney fan as Chris. He's a crazy Disney fan.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But she was able to convince me in about 5 minutes that a Disney cruise was the right thing to do for our family because of all the great things that they offer, the amazing service, and how much of a fun vacation you can have together as a family, and then separating and going into kids clubs for the kids. And it just, I was amazed that she did convince me in about 5 minutes that we should do this.
And it took me probably about a day because I'm like the prepper. So I want to dig into the information, look it up online.
Oh, yes.
I watched a few. I looked it up on, I went on the internet. I looked at some vlogs on YouTube, and I was pretty convinced this would be awesome.
Yeah. And he's converted me to more of a Disney fan than I used to be. It was really just waiting in line a lot that I didn't like about Disneyland, but things have changed since we started going with our kids, and I love Disney now.
Well, let's hear from Alyssa and Lindsay. Are you guys as big a Disney fans as your dad?
Not as big, but pretty big. I'd say ish. Like, yes, we're totally up for like going on vacation. And like the service is what I like most about it, I think, because like they always make it really fun for like all ages of kids and like adults. Well, actually, yeah, because I do like the theming and the food and the service. So now that I think about it, I actually do like Disney a lot. Yeah.
She's a verbal processor like me.
I love it. So you guys go to Disneyland a lot. Do you guys have a favorite ride?
Probably the Incredicoaster. I really like that one. It was my first loop-de-loop roller coaster I ever went on.
I love
That's
it.
your favorite, right, Steve?
It's one of them. How about you, Lindsay? Do you have a favorite ride down there?
I love the Incredicoaster. It's so fun.
And the baby is gone. Have you guys been down there since they rethemed it?
Oh yeah.
No,
The baby's
the
gone.
baby's gone.
It's so with the Incredicoaster when you first take off and they've got Edna Mode. Why can't I say her name? Anyways, when you come around the corner and she goes, and the baby is gone, and then they launch you, and then you're going after Jack Jack.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the big Jack Jack that they removed it at the end of the ride. I was like, what?
No. Jack Jack is still there. At least they're still trying to find him. That's for sure. Before we jump into the Disney cruise itself, had you guys been on any other type of cruise? Had you cruised before?
I'm the only one, and I went. Oh no, I'm sorry. Carrie went on a Northern European cruise.
With who?
With my mom when I was in my 20s.
But which
Yeah.
cruise line?
It was a Princess.
Okay.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was beautiful.
And then what about you, Chris?
I went on a Carnival cruise when I was a kid. My parents used to be Amway people, and it was like a free Carnival cruise that they got through their team or whatever they called it. All I remember was a really horrible Halloween or costume dress up event that I had to walk across the stage in some crazy Indian getup, and I hated every moment of it. But my parents said I had to do it. So that's what I remember from that cruise. I think it was fun.
You don't remember warm chocolate melting cake? Because even when we were kids, warm chocolate melting cake existed, I think.
I don't remember anything else from that cruise except that. And it was a Riviera cruise in Mexico. So I remember going to the port call areas. I was a really little kid. So
You guys make the decision to go on to cruise with Disney. What kind of research and what did you use ahead of time to kind of plan for the trip?
a lot of it was looking up things online, looking up other people's like videos and vlogs of their experience on DCL. Honestly, there was a few people that we had known that had gone on Disney cruise, a few people, not a ton, just talking with them, just everything about it sounded great. We love the parks. We love going on the rides. We love the food at the parks, but just the idea of having a relaxing vacation where you don't have a cell phone connection, that's also really still a lot of fun. We love Disney and love the theming that comes with that. Everything about that just sounded great, like a different type of vacation that we had never done before. So, and we love trying new things. And so it sounded like this, I think, might be a great option for us.
What kind of room did you guys pick, and how did you come to the conclusion of which cabin to pick?
We started with a veranda because this was our first cruise we thought we were actually going to go on when our original cruise back in March of 2020 got canceled 10 days after everything got shut down. That was a huge bummer, but we set up a veranda because with the extra 25% future cruise credit, we're like, hey, let's splurge and let's go for a veranda.
Well, this one that we went on was only the second sailing of the Wonder and that restarted. And we just didn't really think it was going to happen. So Disney canceled a bunch of our cruises that we had rescheduled. And then we just decided to cancel that one while we could still get the money back because we had another cruise coming also this summer. So we didn't want to get future cruise credit. We just wanted to get the money back. Anyway, we decided last minute to rebook it.
Once we knew it was actually sailing.
Once we knew it was sailing, we rebooked it and it was about $1,000 less to get an inside stateroom guaranteed. So that's what we ended up doing. And it was pretty small.
For 4 people, yeah, it's like you can live in it. It's doable, but for like a long cruise, especially, you should not do it.
I think Alyssa wants to say something too.
Wasn't our original plan to go to Oogie Boogie Bash again?
Oh yeah, we were trying to decide between Disneyland and Oogie Boogie Bash or going on. Since the cruise sailed, we picked going on the cruise instead of Oogie Boogie Bash.
I'm glad we chose that. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Having that extra little bit of space that goes out to the veranda, which may not be, how do I say this the right way? It's not the inside of the room, but it does make your room feel quite a bit bigger.
Going forward, we talked about this a little bit on the cruise, and we definitely are convinced we want to do a veranda from now on. It was really tight. And anytime we had to like unpack or pack and find space to put all our stuff and just kind of do anything in the room, we didn't really want to hang out in the room because we just, after a few days, we just kind of felt a little bit tight and cramped in there. And so going forward, we're definitely looking forward to having a veranda. Having fresh air come in the room would make such a huge difference. So we're excited about our next cruise being on a veranda.
Did you have a standard inside or the deluxe inside?
Standard.
The one bathroom. And also the standard inside versus the deluxe is like 184 to 214 difference. What is that, Steve?
30 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like 30 square feet smaller, which is kind of significant for how small the cabins are in the first place? I had to like pull out my little trusty chart, but So I can see how that would make a big difference.
Yeah, if you had one or two young littler kids, I think it could be a little bit better. But with our girls being 11, 13, it was tight.
Also, with it being indoors, I have never felt any kind of motion sickness before, but I felt like there was a night that the ship was pretty rocky when it was the night we were packing, and I just felt like I needed a window. I just needed some fresh air. So, I mean, I did take Dramamine and everything, and that helped. But in the future, I think it would be nice to have that veranda just for the fresh air and for the extra space.
Out of curiosity, what cruise do you have in the future booked?
Next June on the Fantasy.
Yeah, it's a seven night.
Yeah, Eastern Caribbean. Well,
so
that's
nice.
what it's supposed to be. We'll see.
We actually originally, our first cruise that we had planned was a 7-night on the Fantasy. We had thought about it for a long time, and then
2020.
Yeah, we had thought about it for a long time. We had booked it right when it came out, and so it seemed like we were waiting for it for so long that we ended up also adding one before it. That was the March of 2020, because we just couldn't wait to go. So we added that second one, but it was going to be first. And so now we're going to go on the Fantasy this coming June. And I think Alyssa wants to add something, or Lindsay, sorry, go ahead.
I'm really excited to go on the Fantasy rather than the Wonder, because the Wonder has like the twist and spout, I think, and it's fun, but I think it gets old pretty fast, especially since the line is usually really long. But the Fantasy, I think, will be really fun because it has the Aqueduct, which I've been really wanting to go on ever since we booked our first cruise. And Dad told me, like, oh, hey, like, we're thinking about going on a Disney cruise sometime in the future. And I'm like, ooh, yay.
And then we watched videos of the Aqueduct, kind of whatever you call it, Aqua Coaster or something like that. But yeah, we've never gone on it, but we were excited about trying it.
That's a valid reason. I feel like Chris Bright, our other co-host who's not here tonight, would also feel like he would probably prefer the Fantasy for the coaster, for the water ride as well.
So we're going to kind of skip around a little bit. And normally we talk about embarkation and all that type of stuff. But since you guys are first time cruisers, I want to kind of get some different like things that we don't always get to talk about and get those first impressions. What was it like for you guys? And I want to hear from Lindsay and Alyssa. What was it like when you guys first stepped on that ship? So you guys go through the embarkation, you've watched all the videos, you get down to San Diego, you win the lottery, you fail your tests, so you can go on the cruise. What was it like walking on the ship for the first time?
I don't know. It was just very exciting because we had been waiting for like almost 3 years to go on a cruise, and just to be like walking down, like to actually walk on the ship. It was just really exciting knowing like, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. This is final. There's no going back. We're actually getting on the ship.
And how about you, Alyssa? Walking into the lobby and seeing the chandelier and Captain Mickey and Captain Minnie being there.
Yeah, that was really fun. I wish it would be like the Castaway party, but instead they had like this the Silhouette party, instead they had like this little intro thing.
And Chris, you're the big Disney fan here. Or at least you started off. You're the leader of the pack in this. What was it like for you to get on the ship, you and Carrie?
I wasn't like gaga crying, like getting on board, because I'm not the kind of person that gets all hyper emotional when I see the castle and all kind of stuff coming to the park. But it does put a big, huge smile on my face. Like it was just so fun. And when the girls say 3 years, like that's when we first booked our first cruise, and we had every month put money aside, paid for it, saved up. And then to have it taken, pretty much taken away because of COVID, like 14 days before we were supposed to sail. And then having to go through the last year and a half that everyone's gone through. And then finally getting into the terminal, going through that mess of the testing. Inspire Diagnostics messed our testing process up just a little bit. We got the clear, but it wasn't right in the website. So anyways, it went a little wonky, but getting like walking on the gangplank, I think that's what it's called. And just knowing that we were getting on board. Like, I think Lindsay like had a little yelp of like a little scream at one point.
Yeah.
And just getting on board, seeing everything, it felt surreal. It felt weird, like walking on deck 4. It just, all of it was so fun.
I remember, I feel like when it finally hit me, I think was when we were up outside of Cabanas and we were just looking off the ship and just seeing how beautiful it was. I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. We're actually on the ship and it is going to sail away soon. Like no one's going to cancel it now.
Look at the late excitement.
Yeah. It was so exciting.
I totally get that.
San Diego's a great sail away too. As you leave the downtown area, go around Point Loma, you get to see, I can't say the name of the hotel, the Grand Floridians. Yeah, the Hotel Del Coronado in the distance and everything else, plus all the boats out there. Just an amazing sail away, and nice to be on the ship finally.
We got up really early to see the ship come in too.
Yeah, we had a hotel right
fun.
across from the port, and we were actually up since about 3, waiting for the ship to come in, looking out the window. That's how excited we were.
I got up at 5. But we still got it on camera, and it was super fun to just watch it come into port. And like just from that moment forward, it was like, I think this is happening. I think we're going.
So girls, was that ship pretty huge? Was it this big, or was it bigger than what you thought it was going to be?
It was ginormous.
Yeah. And also like when it sailed away, it made this like super loud like horn. It was really exciting, but like also really loud because we were going on the water slide at that point and we were right next to the horn.
Yeah, and the hotel we had, it had like 17 levels or something, and we went to the very top level and we were hardly like level with the top of the ship. It was huge and really tall. It's crazy.
What is the wonder? It's 11 decks, Christy?
Yeah, the top deck is
Deck
No,
11.
10.
well,
Is
deck
Deck 10?
11 is Paolo and
Paolo.
Vibe, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
deck
yeah.
10, according to my book. Oh, there's a little deck 11. Only the
Yeah.
Vibe is up on deck 11 though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Unless they
Paolo-
changed it, but
Yeah, no, you're right. That's the only thing on 11.
Let's turn to food. You talked about loving the food experiences at Disneyland. Being on the cruise ship is a little bit different, where you get to go from restaurant to restaurant. What did you guys think of the different restaurants and kind of that process where you go to the different places?
I think we should let Dad talk for this. What do you think, Dad?
She makes fun of me because honestly, like half of my joy I get out of going to Disneyland. We went to Disney World earlier this year too for the first time. So a lot of Disney first this year. Half of the fun for me is trying all the different food and snacks and different places to eat at. It's super fun for me.
what was your favorite dish of the cruise?
Of the crew, oh man, it's 2, either the lasagna or the chicken parmesan at Paolo.
Paolo. Mm-hmm.
That was delicious.
Steve, both of those meals are at brunch.
Brunch.
Oh.
So you know.
They have
Steve's
brunch?
never been to brunch, and so he gets teased about
Oh
that.
man, I think brunch,
I know.
we haven't done dinner, but I think I've heard brunch is better. But that's just me.
Carrie, what is your favorite? What was your favorite?
Those were both really delicious. And actually, they gave me the recipe for that chicken parmesan at Paolo because I was just raving about it. And they had the recipe sent down to our room later, which was amazing. I haven't cooked it yet.
I'm going to need you to share that with me, please. Email me that.
No problem. I've had a lot of people ask me for it. Actually, I've already scanned it. I'm not a huge fish fan. I like fish okay, but I loved the sea bass was it Animators?
I think.
Or is it at
Tiana's.
Tiana's? Oh, was it Tiana's?
Yeah.
The sea bass was so delicious.
And I can't remember. They did something different on our cruise. They did the World of Flavored menu that they usually do on
Pirate
the
night.
Panama Canal cruise. They did that instead of the pirate menu, and I can't remember if
lucky.
that was. Everything I heard about the pirate menu was like, it's not.
And I think it's gotten worse post-pandemic restart. Like it used to at least have pot stickers and stuff on it. I didn't see it this year when I was cruising. So, okay, you liked the sea bass. And Alyssa, what was your favorite? Oh, was there more, Carrie?
Oh, the sea bass and also the shrimp and grits. I do love shrimp and grits. Pretty much anywhere Disney that has shrimp and grits, I always love it.
My favorite thing was probably like of the World of Foods thing. Like there's like this buttered chicken.
It was called chicken
Kiev.
Kiev, I think.
Yeah, it was super good. It was like our server told us like, watch out when you cut it, butter might squirt out.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it was also from the World of Flavor. I don't like Indian food because it's too spicy for me. But there was this like amazing shrimp and curry that wasn't spicy and rice. It was really good. And like I said, I don't like spicy things, and it wasn't spicy, but it was delicious because it was somehow sweet. I don't know how, but it was like sweet and savory. It was really good.
That sounds great. So, Chris, I do want you to re-answer now because I would like you to answer for an included meal. What was your favorite item that you ate?
For an included meal where you don't have to pay extra for it,
Like Palo, just for our listeners, if you might be new or you're not familiar with Disney Cruise Line, Palo is an adults only paid for restaurant that has a per person charge. Most of the other food on a Disney Cruise Line cruise is going to be included in your cruise fare, but Palo's additional adults only. Lovely. Brunch is amazing. Dinner's good too, but brunch is amazing. So what was your included favorite dish?
I think it was the tenderloin and Triton's. That was really, really good. It was, and the only way to really have a tenderloin is medium rare, in my opinion.
I agree. Totally agree.
That was really, really good. It is really hard though, because we kind of sampled a lot.
Oh, God, we didn't the way to do it.
You don't just order like one thing per person. Like I think there were some meals where we each ordered a couple of things and we kind of shared plates and tried them all. And we'll talk more about dessert in a minute though, because we kind of did that a lot.
And Alyssa wants to tell one more thing.
Oh yeah.
I really like the desserts too. My favorite dessert, I didn't know they're already really good. We tried like all of them pretty much.
Good.
Yeah, she's right. We got like the first night we were there, we were at Animators, and we learned very quickly that you cannot just order one dessert or just one like entree. You have to order them all and try them all. Like you said, it's all included, so you might as well get your money's worth.
I like the way you guys think.
It's pretty neat with kids because, we had just gone to Disney World in January and the kids did want to try a lot of the things that are more expensive and we had them stick to the less expensive items. But on the cruise, they tried all kinds of great stuff and it was all included. And if they didn't like it, it wasn't that big of a deal because we'd already paid for it with the cost of cruising.
Would you say the food met your expectations on the cruise? Was it what you expected?
In some spaces, yes. In some spaces, it exceeded it. In some spaces, it didn't.
Okay. Where didn't it?
I think mostly at Cabanas.
Yeah. It's not as great, right? I mean, Cabanas to me Cabanas was never my favorite. Sometimes you can get some great items there cooked really well. Sometimes not, but now they just have so many less choices. And so Amber was even posting on our Instagram page. She just got off the Magic and she was even saying, her biggest disappointment right now is just that the buffet at lunch has so many less choices. She missed out on things like tacos that she used to be able to get and a couple of other options and that they just aren't there. And I do think that definitely affects the cruise. Fortunately, at least for me, the Daisy Bites or whatever it's called, that's what it's called, I think, on that ship, right? The quick service sometimes can make up for it.
By the pool?
Yeah. Did you guys eat there at all?
We didn't. We had pizza once or twice, and I think we got shawarma once. They have shawarma on the Wonder, which is really cool. That was good.
I think the Daisy Bites are the bowls, right? We never had that, but we saw it.
Well, and just the whole grill. I don't know what they call the rest of the stations over there.
Boiler bites.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Daisy Delight, which is in the back by Cabanas.
That's that little front part, right?
Yeah. So they have breakfast stuff, and then they have some different bowls and things like that for lunch. So I feel like Lindsay and Alyssa are kind of like that was you when you were small or younger, Christy, as far as like their food. We're going to try everything. I love it. They're kind of channeling the younger Christy. One last question about food. And I know you're going to say Triton's because that's the correct answer, but did you guys have a favorite restaurant as a family?
Tiana's. Say Tiana's.
I'm sorry, but Triton's was probably my least favorite. No, but Tiana's was my favorite. We went there twice. It was amazing. The food was amazing. And I loved Animators too. And Triton's was good. It was just, I loved and we went there our last night also. So I had already just fallen in love with the other two, but the food was equally good on all of them, I think, but I love the atmosphere in Tiana's and Animators the best.
Yeah. I think my favorite when you think of everything was Tiana's. For food. It was really hard. I really liked everything we had at Triton's. Animators was a lot of fun and it was more of like a chill vibe. Then there wasn't any loud show. They had the screens and everything else. And we were kind of hoping and excited to do the thing where it animates your drawing, but we found out that doesn't happen unless you're on a 7-night cruise. But yeah, they were all really good. But I would say at the end of the night, with one exception that a friend of mine pointed out, the foot massage you got from the engine right below was real. Like it was
Oh my God.
crazy, like vibration everywhere in Tiana's.
Yeah, 'cause
But
we're in the app.
it kind of threw me off a little bit, but it wasn't so much so that I didn't enjoy it at all. It was, we still had a great time.
That was like a mini earthquake.
They kept going.
Yeah.
I think that was our at-sea day when we were like hauling.
Yeah. They gotta work on that.
They do.
So I feel like one more, like everything was really great, like Cabanas, and it was good, but not as good as the restaurants. But I think another thing that was kind of a disappointment was the room service warm chocolate chip cookies, because like we had heard that they were like great, and like at night, at least one night, like while you were on the ship, you needed to get room service warm cookies and milk. And we were like, oh, okay, yeah, let's try that. We got it, and it just wasn't that good. It just tasted like, yeah, they were made fresh like a day or two before and then heated up again.
We might not have had the best batch of cookies.
Yeah,
They
I
might have
heard
been
they're
a,
great,
They
but
might have been a little overcooked.
that wasn't our experience. That's okay.
What about you, Alyssa?
So at Triton's, I also tried escargot,
Oh,
and
no.
I actually kind of have this little fear of snails because I hate them. Their little beady eyes are gross. And
Well, what
yeah.
did you think of eating it?
I tried them because I wanted to like try to get over my fear a little. They tasted really good. It was just the thought of what it actually was in my mouth made me gag. Yeah.
Well, you ate, I think, 3 of them though.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how could you?
I enjoyed those too. Those were really good. But it tasted like garlicky, buttery mushrooms that were just a little chewier than mushrooms. But I liked it. Carrie, all of us tried it.
We did.
That's
Even
Steve's favorite.
It is. I love the escargot. Let's move on from the food though, unless there's anything else there, Christy.
No, but we could probably talk about food for about an hour. So you
Oh,
probably should.
All right. Let's move on to the kids clubs. We don't always get to talk about the Edge. Alyssa and Lindsay, you guys are perfect ages for that. I want to get your guys' take on what was the Edge like for you, and what kind of experiences did you get to do? Did you have fun?
It was really fun, and I liked hanging out with everyone, like especially the counselors, I think they're called, like the staff at the clubs. They're really nice and really including. And on this little whiteboard that they had there, they had a plan and a schedule for the day. So it was like organized, but if like everyone just wanted to do something else, like you could totally do that too. And it was very like go with the flow, which is nice. But it was kind of a short cruise to like build relationships with like the counselors and the kids there. And it was really fun when all of them were there, but a lot of times there was just like 1 or 2 kids there and you're like, I guess I'll just go do something else then.
Okay, so that was Lindsay 13 talking, because I think that for our listeners, we can tell and see her, but they won't be able to. I think that's impressive feedback. And Mom, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, I think it had to do with the low capacity of our ship. Because of COVID, it was, I think, what, 40% capacity?
About 960 on board.
They both enjoyed the clubs that they were in, but there were a lot less kids, I think, than would normally be in. And in Edge, they could come and go as they wanted. Alyssa did both, and she also did Oceaneers. But I think there wasn't always that many kids in there when you wanted to go in, right, Lindsay?
Sometimes there was and sometimes there wasn't.
So Edge is the tween club from 11 to 14. There's a bit of overlap between the teen club and the Oceaneers Club and Lab, which is for the kids, like the starter club from ages 3 to 12. So there's that little overlap group where if you're on the cusp, you can move up or you can stay back down. So I think that's just important for our listeners to understand how that club works. Alyssa, what did you think of the Edge?
I liked Edge. Like you could come and go, like Mom said.
So as an 11-year-old, what did you like better, the Edge or the Oceaneers Club?
Probably Oceaneers.
Okay. And why?
Yeah. I liked it better because like it felt like there were more things to do. You didn't have but there were rotations. Like you couldn't just do anything you wanted unless it was an open house. With open house, anyone can come in and do anything they want.
I can't go because I'm just a tad bit too old to go in there. But I could see there was like more of a variety, like Alyssa said, than there was at Edge. There was a bunch of different themed things, like there was an Avengers place and a Frozen place and Toy Story place. And there's like the Oceaneers Lab, which I hadn't really gone in, but it all looked pretty fun. And I would have liked to be there too.
And Carrie and I could go on Slinky Dog slide during open house if we wanted to. We didn't, but we could. And that's awesome.
Slinky Dog slide was pretty fun.
In Oceaneers Club.
Yeah, but you had to wait in like a big line.
Oh, really? Aw.
Yeah. and you can't go head first.
So many
You can
rules
only
on
go
Disney.
first. Yeah.
Lindsay, what was one fun activity that you got to do at the Edge?
I think it was the third day. I mean, that doesn't really matter. There was this one time when I went there and like there were a lot of kids there. There were a lot of people there and they were just doing these random games like musical chairs and this game called like 11 where, I don't know, you tap your hands on a table for a certain amount of times. I don't know. But it was just really fun to hang out with all of them and like tease around. And it was just really fun like when there's not really anything scheduled and it's just like free time, I guess, when everyone's just hanging out there. And there was like this thing that I wasn't there for, like Heroes versus Villains, that apparently was really popular. I didn't go, but it sounded really fun.
So Heroes versus Villains is kind of a game show it's not really a game show, but it's kind of a game that they play across the whole cruise. So they have like different, like a scavenger hunt and everything like that. And I think you're really going to have a good time with that when you do the fantasy, because you're going to have a longer cruise. There'll probably, hopefully by that time, be some more kids up there. That was our oldest son, Andrew's favorite cruise, I think, or one of his favorite cruises, because he really connected with a bunch of kids and they did Heroes versus Villains and a lot of different other things. So I think you'll have a little bit more fun on that one. Not that you didn't have fun on this one, but to your point with like being able to connect with a bigger group of kids and having more kids up there. So, well, Disney Cruise Line's known for family and kind of family entertainment. What are some of the things that you guys did as a family together? Obviously up at the pool deck at times, but did you go to the shows? Did you do any of the family game shows?
Yeah, we did. Alyssa and I did. There was a pirate game show.
A Pirate's Life for Me.
A Pirate's Life for Me, and that was on Pirate Night. And that was a lot of fun. Lindsay had too many saucers that day, and she was out for the count in the stateroom.
I'd say one too many, but it was more like 4 too many. So.
Or 6 too many.
But Melissa and I did Pirate's Life for Me, and it was fun. There's no actual prizes you won, but you're on 2 teams, 2 sides of the room get split up, and it was just a lot of fun. Alyssa was able to participate up front with that. Yeah. We also did bingo. I didn't know if we were going to do that ahead of time, but I was interested in it. But it's the closest you can get to gambling on Disney Cruise. And we're not big gamblers, but it was still a lot of fun. We had, and one of our friends that was there, it was kind of fun to be there when she won the 4th round, which is the most money, that was kind of fun.
We don't get a lot of people that talk about bingo. So bingo is an extra charge. Obviously, it's like playing bingo anywhere. You get a board, but how does it work? Do you recall how much it cost? How many like boards you have to get, or what a minimum, or any of that?
What we did was $40, and there was 3 rounds, and we each had 2 cards or 3 cards. I think there's 4 cards.
4 rounds.
Oh, there's 4 rounds, and we each had 2 cards in each round. So for $40, it was plenty. We didn't need more than that. And then I think there were 3 prizes or 4 prizes, and they were all stateroom credit. So the friend we have that won almost $300 in stateroom credit. So it was definitely worth it if you're going to win. And it was fun. They made it really fun.
Yeah. And you can spend as little as like 20 or $25 for entry level. And then I think we did, 6 cards. And so 2 of us, like the girls each had 1 and Carrie and I each had 2. It was fun. It was easy. And the crew did a great job of kind of keeping the energy going and having fun with it and cracking jokes, making fun of each other and making fun of some of the audience.
Yeah.
And like lots of the people who went actually had like their birthdays, like not too recently, like for them yesterday recently.
It was like a fun little coincidence.
Yeah, they won for their birthday somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is definitely some like entertainment that I think I wanted to do. It was just honestly because it was our first cruise, we didn't know a lot, even though, I kind of did a lot of like a little bit of studying up on everything that was available. There's still so much you can do, even right now with less people, with COVID and everything else, the regulations and everything that's happening right now. There's still so much to do. And I would have liked a couple of things I would like to do more of was do like trivia. That would have been really fun, but I don't know if we'd win. It would have been fun to be there. Another thing we did was karaoke.
Yeah, that was really fun. And I was going to say, we should talk a little about the karaoke, but we heard some other people saying who had been on a lot of cruises that because the ship was so empty, they sometimes felt like there wasn't much to do, but we didn't get to do everything we wanted to do. And I think it's because since it was our first time cruising, we spent so much time exploring the ship.
Yeah.
We loved what?
Dole Whip. We did not get a Dole Whip.
We didn't get a Dole Whip.
We did not get a Dole Whip. We
Tisk,
had
tisk.
We had just
Back to food,
about,
sorry.
yeah, I mean, back to food. Pretty much anytime there was dessert, we had got all the dessert. So really, we didn't want to get a Dole Whip because we had enough dessert. But
And you have to pay for it, right? So, got to take the included
True.
dessert.
Like $6. Something.
yeah, we were trying not to spend too much extra since there's so much great stuff included. Yeah, we really just enjoyed being on the ship, and we did do some other activities. There was plenty of things to do. Yeah, we need to go on the longer cruise so we can do more.
It's an addiction, let me tell you, because like you'll put all that stuff in the app and like it'll just start coming up like, oh, this is starting now. This is starting now. This is starting now. It's like, oh man, I really wanted to do that, but I'm doing this instead. So next cruise, right? Did you guys go to the show at all? Did you guys go see Frozen or Dreams?
Yeah, we did. There's 2 shows. It was a 4-night cruise. And so we loved how they did that, at least for how things are right now, that we didn't have to go to a show every night. Not that you have to go, but you kind of don't want to miss them because it's kind of a big feature. But it was nice to have a few nights where we just did different things. And when they were playing it twice back to back. So they played Frozen the first 2 nights and then Dreams the last 2 nights. And we went on the second night of each one.
It was really nice to have we would go to the later dinner, and right before that we would go to the show, and it was just really fun.
Yeah.
Did you like the show?
I did like the show, and I've never really been to an actual Broadway show besides Hamilton. I'm sorry, I'm a big Hamilton fan. Please go watch it if you have Disney Plus. Go now, leave this podcast. I'm sorry, but it's awesome. But yeah, I think it was like, so that's the only thing I have to base it on for Broadway show. But a lot of people say it's like as good as a Broadway show, and I think they're right. It was really good, and I would like go pay to see it. It was really good.
I was impressed with how they used the stage.
Yeah.
And all the different things they had coming up out of the floor and the puppetry and the special effects they had. I heard it was great, and I was blown away.
Yeah, the theaters are pretty amazing. I can't wait to see what they come up with the Wish, only that just because of the different technologies that they're going to be able to incorporate in some of the shows as well. But I think Frozen is just an amazing show. So it's Halloween on the High Seas. They really, unfortunately, didn't do a lot of Halloween stuff, I don't think. So unless you had any real experiences about that, we could turn to fireworks if you'd like.
They did. Well, they had the the Masquerade party.
Yeah.
On the deck. It was the only deck show. And that's the other thing from when we boarded the Wonder. I think Alyssa said something about it earlier, but I'm really bummed that we didn't get to experience the sail away party. Like that, it like everything I've ever seen or talked to the people who've gone on before, like it feels like that's when everything starts. And it just didn't happen. And we happen to be outside. Carrie and I happen to be outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the horn blast to When You Wish Upon a Star. I think that's what the song is. But we happened to be outside with it. We had friends who didn't really know to be outside when that was happening. So they missed it and they were kind of bummed. It was kind of a bummer to not have that. Part of me is like, well, they're having people congregate in Main Street right now for fireworks. Why can't they do that? But, I'm not the one making decisions. So,
yeah, another thing I feel like we missed out on was sharing the table with like another family. Again, like I think it's always best to be on like a longer ship so you can actually like form relationships with them. I was kind of bummed that we weren't able to do that, because I think especially if it was like another kid from Edge for me and Alyssa, or just Oceaneers for Alyssa, it would have been really cool to hang out with them and do stuff with them that wasn't actually just like our family that we knew already, and just make a friend on the cruise ship.
Yeah, they got tired of us kind of quickly.
Yeah.
But we did it felt like we made great friends with our servers. They were amazing, and we loved them so much. And at least we had them to get to know.
Yeah, we had great servers.
Yeah, honestly, I think that was the best part about the ship, because without them or like just the service, it would just be like, oh yeah, food was pretty good and had a lot of activities. So it was okay. But the service, I think, is what makes it like such a lifelong experience, and just like, like getting to know them. And my mom and dad have like said this a lot, but it seems like they genuinely care about you and how you feel and how your experience on the cruise ship is, and that they're not just doing the job.
I was pretty surprised when right after we got back, I was asking Alyssa what her top 3 favorite things were from our Disney cruise. And her number 1 favorite thing was our servers, which I just thought, for an 11-year-old with all these amazing Disney things, to say that our servers were her favorite, that just says a lot about the service.
Yeah.
And that was across the board, the whole ship, every experience we had, whether it was in Palo, whether it was in the dining rooms, whether it was even in cabanas, wherever we went, you could tell the crew is incredibly excited about being back. And you could tell they were just enjoying making this just an amazing experience for us. And, we hope that we were able to add something to them too and encourage them and be excited that they were back too.
The Disney Cruise Line crew, there is something just so special about them. And really, it is a testament that your 11-year-old said, the crew was one of her best parts about the ship. That says so much, honestly, about, how you guys are raising your family, but also just how great that they are. And it is true. I know Steve and I feel the exact same way. They're just so amazing.
I remember our first cruise on the Wonder too. We went up to Alaska, and the one of the servers was just snarky with my mom. My parents came with, and he could tell that he could play with her. And that's still one of my favorite moments, was just the 7 days we spent with him, and just him giving her a hard time about what she was going to order every night and everything like that. And it was a lot of fun. And that maybe that sounds like a negative because him being snarky, but it wasn't mean at all. It was totally fun, and the two of them playing with each other. So yeah, from a kid to my mom, who was 78 at the time, I think the cast and crew members of the ships really make it special. So you guys get down to Cabo on this. That's your one port stop. What did you guys have planned in Cabo?
We didn't do anything because right now the rule is everyone in your party has to be vaccinated to get off the ship. I don't know if that's just Cabo. I think that might be everywhere, every port except Castaway.
You should be able to do a Disney Cruise Line excursion.
Yes, we could have done that. We chose not to do that because I think if we could have done anything, we would have chosen just to take a tender boat over to the harbor and just kind of wander around and find a good place to eat. Lindsay loves good Mexican food, and
oh yes,
we all love it.
Yeah,
just find a good place to eat and do a little shopping and just enjoy the port area. Carrie and I have been there on our 10th anniversary 6 years ago. But the girls had never been there. So eventually we'll go back and, they'll be able to get off the ship with us at that point. But we didn't feel up to doing a Disney port adventure.
It was so beautiful though. When we came up to Cabanas that morning for breakfast and saw where we were, it was like a postcard. It was so beautiful. And the girls were like, oh my gosh, I wish we could get off the ship, because we had not planned to do that. And they wanted to actually go see from the other perspective of not being on the ship. But we had the ship to ourselves. So that was pretty cool. I mean, it was
kind of a ghost town.
Yeah. And
it was a lot of fun. We got a lot done. We girls, I think Alyssa wwent to Oceaneers.
I had a massage because with the Disney Visa card, you get on port days, you get 20% off a massage. So I got to have a massage. That was great.
And Lindsay and I went on the water slide a few times, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, we just hung out and went swimming and just really relaxed that day.
Yeah, because it was really hot. And on like the cooler days there, like especially at night, the pool is like warm, and like the pool and the water slide, the water is heated, which is nice on the cooler days. But on the Cabo day, it was hot, and I was like, I want to go in the pool, but it's not going to help.
I think Cabo is one of the prettiest ports, don't you, Steve? Just that view, even from on the ship. Seeing the ship is pretty cool because if you were to get off, you would have been able to tender in and you can look out at it, which is kind of fun to see it sitting there. But even just that port itself, because it's kind of surrounded by land, but it's still in the middle, like it's not connected to the port. I love that port.
Yeah, the blue of the water, the arch, kind of the tip of the land there, the end of the Baja is just, it's some amazing scenery. But we haven't touched on the fireworks yet. I know they're kind of short, not the same as like going to Disneyland or Walt Disney World. What do you guys think of the fireworks?
I thought they were great. I think it was Disney Ever After is what they're calling it now. We didn't have anything to measure it up against. Before, I knew there was a pirate night and they had a deck party with pirates and things, and that would have been fun to see. But the fireworks were really good. The soundtrack was great. The fireworks did, I remember waking up that morning and talking to Lindsay, and she was really kind of surprised that we were doing fireworks out at sea.
Oh, yeah. And I was joking about obviously water isn't flammable. One light. But I was like, wait, but what if it starts like a forest fire? And I'm like, oh yeah, we're out at sea.
But it was a lot of fun.
It was really fun.
And did you know, Lindsay, that the fireworks are edible, that the fish can eat them?
What?
The fireworks, they actually, no, this is true. No,
so I know, but
what gets shot off into the air when it falls into the ocean after it burns itself out, actually the fish can eat that. So
Ew.
Well, that
you need
is some Disney magic for you.
That's
Yes,
incredible.
You need environmentally friendly fireworks. We can't
Environmentally
be-
friendly fireworks, exactly. So they're not going to start the forest on fire, and they feed the fish with them. So
That's
Pretty
awesome.
amazing.
this is the question I wanted to ask you. I was thinking about it. Are you guys do you guys like meeting the characters? Did you get to meet some of the characters on board?
So I think that's actually what kind of turned me around to really loving Disney is when our girls were little and we would take them to Disneyland and interact with all of the characters. That is something I love. I just love how the characters, they make it so much fun. So we did do that on the ship. I mean, our kids are a little bit older now, 11 and 13. They're not as into the characters as they used to be when they were little, but it was still really fun to see them. It was more of a stop and wave kind of thing. We did talk.
That's what they called it. I think it was like stop and wave and pass. It was really weird what they called it.
But there were characters everywhere. I mean, there was characters all the time. We saw princesses and Mickey and Stitch and Captain Hook and what were you going to say, Lindsay?
Like I said, like it's definitely like a lot of fun. Like when you're younger, like I don't know, 5 and 7, something like that. But
especially like princesses and
princesses and like Peter Pan and that kind of thing. But I don't know, like if it was any other like theme park or something, it would get old really fast. But with Disney, even as you get older, it's always like it like Mom said, it's always really fun to see them and like say hi to them.
They did a great job. There was one after the Pirates Life for Me game that Alyssa and I did. We went out and we saw Stitch, and he had all his pirate get up on because it was Pirate Day, Pirate Night.
Yeah, eye patch.
And he had an eye patch, and Alyssa had an eye patch. So he non-verbally, he completely interacted with her in a really fun way. And it was just a lot of fun seeing her interact back with him. And that was a lot of fun for me. And then we see Captain Hook, and I'm wearing like a Smee type of costume. So what they're doing now, even though it's at a little bit of a distance, there's still a lot of interaction that happens, and it's great.
There's actually more interaction, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
And I heard that you had to, like, if you want to do a princess thing or anything in the atrium, you had to like sign up or something like that before COVID to like get in line or something like that. And that was great to not have to do that at all.
Yeah. And I was just going to say Pirate Night was really fun. I didn't do as much research as Chris. I just basically know what he tells me, but I just thought it sounded a little corny, Pirate Night, but it was so fun. It was the Disney magic somehow made just dressing up and all the music and all the fun. And it was a great night. We had such a good time together.
Yeah. Like when we went to the restaurant, they did like this little show and all the waiters were dressed up as like, you know, in pirate costumes, and they're just all, I don't know. It was, oh wait, was it that also the night of like the World of Flavor?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That and they were, I don't know, they just made it really fun, and they were all dressed up, like I said, and
they make everything so fun.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing about like being first time cruisers? For my dad, especially, like we wanted to go see, like we talked about this earlier, we wanted to go see and do everything, but we had like the late night dinner, 8:15, so it was really late, and we wanted to go do like a bunch of stuff after dinner and like stay up late every night, but every single day we were super tired and we went to bed like almost right after dinner.
Yeah, the first 2 nights, I think we went to bed just a little bit after we were done with dinner. And then the last 2, I think we stayed up a little bit. At least I did, because we had some other friends there on the cruise that we were able to hang out with and connect with.
I think your point is just that we had so much fun all day long that by the end of the night, we were tired.
Yeah.
But I mean, just having gone to Disneyland so many times and wanting to compare it to Disneyland, it's a different, I feel after Disneyland, like I kind of need a vacation because I'm so tired. But this is such it's a great combination vacation of, you know, a lot of really fun things, but also you can choose to relax as much as you want. And you can, you know, going with kids, you can spend a lot of time together doing fun things together. And then you have the times where they go to the kids club, or, you know, our kids 11 and 13, Lindsay at 13 was fine with going off by herself and just reading on the deck. And so Chris and I had time with just us, we had time together. And then sometimes just all 4 of us would be doing separate things. So it was kind of the perfect family vacation.
Yeah. The first day was kind of like the first full day. So day 2 was kind of our gauge of like, okay, let's see how much the girls feel comfortable on the ship, know the ship. If they feel comfortable with it, we're comfortable with it. And so there were times, where we just kind of let them roam and let them do, you know, go swimming without us being there to watch them. And that was so great.
Because there's lifeguards everywhere. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just hit on exactly why we go back to Disney Cruise Line every time, right, Christy?
Yeah, for real. I mean, cruising is just an amazing vacation for the entire family because there literally is something for everybody or nothing. If a person wants to do nothing, but everybody else, if they want to do stuff, doesn't feel like, you know what I mean? It's perfect. Like they can go do the thing. The person that wants to do nothing can do nothing. It's perfect.
Yep.
It's perfect.
As we kind of finish up tonight, was there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about that we haven't touched on yet?
I did want to say that, like I said, it was about 3 years that we were waiting for this cruise because we signed up and we waited and we had the countdown and we were almost there. And then COVID canceled in March of 2020. So since we waited 3 years, I was thinking about it when we got off. It seems like you can't wait that long for anything and have it really meet your expectations. It seems like it would be a disappointment after having to wait that long, but it was worth the wait. It totally exceeded our expectations. It was so much fun. We can't wait to do it again. I'm just really amazed at how we could wait that long and still just think it was great.
Oh, I love that.
How about you, Chris? Anything that we haven't touched on that you wanted to talk about?
I think for anyone out there that's going for their first time, my sister, I think of her because her and her family love the parks.
Oh gosh.
And we love it too, but they love it. They love the rides. They like, if there's a fireworks show, they're like, skip the fireworks show. But that means low rides and low wait time for the rides. And so I don't know if they would enjoy Disney Cruise because they like that type of fun. And we do too, but we love different experiences, but with the same, like, everyone says it, magic that Disney provides and creates. But it was so great. And if there's someone out there who's not sure if they want to do a Disney cruise, they're on the fence about it. I say, if you're going to enjoy everyone having their own unique vacation, I think it's definitely worth it. It was so great. And there's so much to do that you're not going to be able to do it all. And there's still something like we didn't do a tasting, like Carrie and I weren't able to do that. We were wanting to try something like that, mixology or whatever, but we didn't get around to that. We didn't sign up for it. There weren't any left when we, rebooked the room with 30 days to go.
We didn't get the Dole Whip.
We didn't get a Dole Whip.
Sorry.
We're gonna let us live that down. But there's still so much to do. And so you just have to go back again.
Yeah. That's how they make their money.
They earned it.
She is 13 going on 20, isn't she?
Yeah.
She always has been.
I love your perspectives, Lindsay. Well, I guess that kind of took care of. Was there anything that you wanted to say, Carrie, for somebody that might be a family first time cruising on Disney Cruise Line? Any tips you could give them?
That is what sold me on it, was just knowing, because we did book it when they were just a little bit younger, and it was kind of like all vacations you're together all the time, and sometimes people start getting frustrated with each other.
Sometimes.
Well, you go on vacation, you're in a small room and all day you're together, and it's nice to have times apart and times together. So yeah. I guess I already said that, but it is an amazing way to have a family vacation. And the food is so good. If you go to the parks and you're spending a lot of money on food and also tickets and also hotel, I mean, maybe the price isn't that different.
Oh yeah. Like, when we went to Disneyland, like, I don't remember this since I was really young, but when me and Alyssa were really young, Mom didn't know the magic of Disney food. So she just packed like pre-made like little peanut butter sandwiches and like, okay, girls, let's stop and you can eat your sandwiches and Pop-Tarts or something like that. And
I didn't bring Pop-Tarts. Where'd you come from?
I don't know. A lot of kids do Pop-Tarts. I'm not sure, but
that's one of the things that's still kind of great about Disney is back then, as a friend of mine says, we weren't poor, but
we were one income family.
We were one income family, and going to Disney was a big deal. And we had a friend or a family member who gave us points to stay at a hotel right next to Disney. We had I used to be a youth pastor, and we had a student that was in our group that worked at Disney that got us in for the day, their guest passes. So like we had a lot of opportunities when our girls were really young. That was just so great to be able to bring them into Disney when they were young. But for Disney to allow food to come into the park and in the park settings, that's great that option exists. But I think you may have alluded to, it was weird getting off the ship and having to
make your own dinner. Yeah.
Well, having to pay for food again, like at a restaurant, not just getting everything there.
Yeah. I went
And
to
ordering everything on the menu.
I went to Starbucks a couple days later and I was waiting for her to hand me my coffee. And she's like, she told me the price. I'm like, oh yeah, I have to pay. You kind of forget when everything's just handed to you on the ship, which is great.
Well, as we kind of finish up, I want to give you the opportunity, Chris and Carrie. You guys have put together a vlog as well. You've started a vlog on YouTube. So you've got 8 videos up I see right now so far covering your cruise. I'm not sure if there's more to come, but I want to give you a chance to plug that.
Yeah, it's called Adventures in Millerland, and we just started uploading once a week earlier this year after we went to Disney World. And so we don't just do Disney stuff. It's just kind of like a snapshot of our lives. We live in the Central Valley, California, and there's a lot of great things locally that we love to do and vlog. And then we also just stuff around life around us as a family. But it's a lot of fun to vlog on this cruise. And yeah, we have a few more videos coming out, kind of talking about some of the things we talked about here as far as what it's like to cruise on Disney with like young teens, preteens. And yeah, and we love traveling. And that's really what we love to do as a family. And so anytime we travel somewhere, we love to share that with others. And it's been a lot of fun, honestly, connecting with people in the comments on Instagram. And it's been a lot of fun for us to connect with new people in that space and get to know new people and just see a kind of a community forming. It's really fun.
I think the Disney community is really good, Christy, overall.
Oh,
I mean,
really is.
People are so positive, and I can tell your family, Chris and Carrie, you guys have done such a good job with your girls, and having a resource like that, like your vlogs, for us, I know has always been a big thing to help us kind of plan and kind of see how to do things maybe a little bit better or easier or
just to be prepared, right?
Yeah, just to be prepared, exactly like that. And the one thing I will say too is like we just don't get a lot of feedback on like the teens and the preteens. So I really appreciate that. And so if anybody has, the kids that are Alyssa and Lindsay's age, like our son now is 11 going on 12, and then we got a 15-year-old. So I'm really curious to see what he's going to think about the vibe when he goes on the Dream here in a couple of days. But I really appreciate you guys putting that out there, building that community for others to kind of learn from your guys' experiences and to follow along.
It's been, like I said, it's been so much fun connecting with people. And on the cruise, we were able to meet a few people too. Not that it's not, we don't have a large channel, but it was fun to meet a few people there too yeah.
They had watched some of our vlogs. It was really fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, as we finish up, Chris, Carrie, and Lindsay, thanks for sticking out with us. And I really appreciate your perspective tonight, Lindsay. You did an awesome job with this. And I know a lot of people are going to really appreciate what you had to say, especially, kids that might be thinking about going up to the edge and the experiences there. I think that you really kind of opened the door for them. So thank you so much for doing that with us tonight.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
It's awesome. And go see Hamilton, right?
Yes, please. Okay, I'm sorry, but
Don't get her started.
She does mention that in all of our vlogs. So
I do.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. You got to have that little tagline that's why Christy makes fun of me with brunch and everything else.
It came up a few times in the vlog.
Yeah. And she got to dress up as a Hamilton character, Eliza, on Halloween. So
Everyone keeps calling her princess though.
oh yeah, she was upset because they thought she was a princess.
Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this with us tonight. We really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys had just an amazing time on the Wonder. Look forward to seeing and following your experiences on the Fantasy. And when you guys get back from that, we would love to have you come back on and talk about your experiences.
Yeah, that would be great. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was really fun.
All the best to you. Have a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and we'll see you when you guys get back from that Fantasy cruise.
Thanks, and have a great cruise yourself.
Well, just a quick intermission. After we recorded this episode, Chris reached out to me and said he really wanted to give props to a YouTube channel that really helped them kind of prepare for this journey, and also a group of people that were on the journey with them when they sailed on the Disney Wonder. And I thought it was a great opportunity for you, our listeners, to maybe find another content creator out there in YouTube besides Chris and his family, and that is the Leg Life YouTube channel. So here is a little excerpt that we talked about after we recorded, talking about the inspiration for this cruise for Chris and his family. Well, as we finish up, Chris, beforehand, we were kind of talking that this was a viewer cruise and you actually went with a group of people. Could you talk a little bit about what group you went with and how that worked out for you guys?
Yeah, it was super fun. Like that's kind of in 2020, it was weird for everyone. And There's a YouTube channel called Leg Life. It's Leggglife, and Adam and Sherry Legg. And they just did a phenomenal job of kind of like helping people connect in a weird year like 2020 was. And that carried over into 2021. And they had actually set up a viewer cruise for 2020 when everything happened and cruises shut down. They rescheduled that for fall of 2021. We decided, hey, let's let that try to be our first cruise. And we didn't think it was going to happen until about a month beforehand when Disney decided to say, hey, we're going to sail out of San Diego. And so it ended up working out that we were able to go on it. And we had such a good time actually meeting some of those people, not just the Leggs, but others in that community that we had connected with online, but we were able to connect with them face to face. And it was so fun. It was just a great opportunity to cruise as a family, but also kind of going into it, knowing that we were going to connect with some people we'd kind of gotten to know, but we'll get to know them for real in person, which was so fun.
How did you find their YouTube channel to begin with?
That was kind of not the weird thing, but I'm the researcher in the family when it comes to travel and planning trips. And I'm digging into all the Disney cruise details since we had never gone on a Disney cruise before. And I had talked to a friend who said, hey, there's a whole bunch of vlogs out there, people vlogging their cruise. And so I decided, hey, I'll look for some Disney cruise vlogs. YouTube was not somewhere I went to consume a lot of content until about 2018 when we started researching things for the Disney cruise. And so they were one of the ones I found. There's another few out there, our Z-Roll, and actually the Zachman family, who's part of the channel, our Z-Roll was also on the cruise with us as part of the Leg Life viewer cruise. And so it was super fun to meet some of these content creators in person, but also just a bunch of other people that connected to their channel over the course of 2020 and 2021. And yeah, they have some great content for Disney cruising, but they vlog about their life in Alaska. They're from Anchorage, Alaska. And so it was just super fun connecting with them online, but actually meeting them in person and a bunch of other people in person. It's such a great community of people.
It is kind of a weird community in the sense that, like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and you listen to people talking, you feel like you get to know them a little bit. And it's the same with, I don't consume YouTube as much, but I know it's the same in that way in respect as well. And to your point, we've been able to meet a lot of different people. Matter of fact, the last cruise that we just went on, I met one of our listeners that has been a long time supporter of our show. We just sat and talked for like about 15 minutes is all. Caught up with him, his family, kind of talked about what he was doing. And it just, those little moments just made our cruise just a little bit more special. Like you said, it is kind of weird to kind of like connect with people that you don't really know, but you think you sort of know them, but you get to realize that, as you said, I think it's just a great community, and what you and your family are doing with your vlog now too, to, kind of help people cruise and like kind of learn how you and your family travel and kind of your take on life. I think that's just a positive thing to do. And let's just keep it rolling.
Yeah, it's fun. And they actually planned another viewer cruise. This time they called it Viewer Cruise hosted by Leg Life, because there's other content creators, us now included, I guess. Yeah. And that, it's kind of weird to be on the other side of the table a little bit, because their channel is much bigger than ours, but honestly, the size of the channel isn't that big a deal in that community. It's more of like, hey, let's just get to know you. And I love that. And so, but yeah, like we have one scheduled going out of New Orleans in March 2023. And so we're going on that one, and we're excited about that and meeting more people. And it's just a fun way to connect with others around something similar that you have an interest for.
Well, as we kind of finish up, Chris, could you remind viewers again, could you spell out Leg Life? So if anybody's interested in that, but then also let our viewers know where they can connect with you and your family, and maybe they can join you guys on that 2023 cruise as they kind of get to know you through your travels between now and then. Yeah,
it's Leg Life, Leggglife. And again, they're based out of Anchorage, Alaska. And so they have a lot of content around Alaska where they live, but they also have a ton of Disney cruise and Disney content that they love sharing with other people, and including them in. So they're fantastic. And I definitely connect with them on YouTube, on Instagram. They're great people. And for us, our channel on YouTube is Adventures in Millerland. And we're also in that Adventures in Millerland on Instagram. It's just been so fun connecting with people in that way. And it makes it even more fun knowing that with some of them, we're going to be able to see them and connect with them in person in the future. So yeah, it's been so cool.
Awesome. Well, I'll make sure that I put those in the show notes. It's, I have to say, it's been fun connecting with you and your family, Chris. Your daughters were so cute. Lots of fun content for people to listen to here. And I highly encourage everybody out there that's listening to this to follow you and your family and adventures in Millerland so that they can kind of follow along with what you guys are doing and hopefully connect with you soon on either a Disney cruise or maybe down in the parks or maybe someplace else out in the world where you guys may be traveling.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
All right. All the best to you. Happy holidays to you and your family. And we look forward to catching up with you after you guys get off your next cruise.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Well, that puts a wrap on our show today. I really want to thank Chris and his whole family coming on to share their experiences as they finally sailed the Disney Cruise Line for the first time on beautiful Disney Wonder out of San Diego. What a great experience that they and their family had during that cruise this past fall. Well, if you enjoyed this episode and you know others who would enjoy it as well, we sure would appreciate it if you pass it on to them. Getting the word out to others helps increase the viewership and the listenership on our shows. Also, if you have time to go over to iTunes and leave us a review, that helps us get the word out a little bit more in the Disney Cruise Line community, the Disney community, the cruising community, just in general, and helps us reach more viewers. So we appreciate each and every one of you who have done that in the past for us. We'd also like to give a huge shout out to our Patreon supporters who help bring this show to you each and every week ad-free. If you'd like to learn how to support our show, you can go over to patreon.com/DCL podcast and find out all the information there. Well, as we finish up today, if you and your family are heading to get out on your next cruise, if you're heading down to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, going over to Aulani Adventures by Disney, traveling with them, or just getting out and running to get ready for that next Run Disney event, all of us here at the DCL podcast, myself, Steve, Christy and Chris, and Steve in the news, we want to wish you to be well, enjoy the time you have with each other out there with family and friends, never take it for granted, and we'll see you next time on the DCL podcast. The DCL podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.